For this last tutorial, we're going to calculate t-tests using Google Sheets. Once again, the spreadsheet I'm using for this video is linked up in the YouTube description as well as in Canvas. So to calculate the t-test, I'm going to click on equal and then type in t-t-e-s-t to get the t-test. This is probably the most complicated formula that we'll be using in this class. And you'll see that once I click the open parentheses, I have a little list of things that pop up. So this is a summary of what I'll need to type in. So I'm going to have t-test, there's my parentheses, range 1, which is my first set of data, comma, range 2, my second set of data, comma, the number of tails, and the type. Now the type specifies a type of t-test, and we'll talk about that in just 1 second. So I've got my t-tests. First, I'm going to highlight my first set of data, comma, range 2, my second set of data, comma, and I need to indicate the number of tails and the type. So number of tails, this is a SAT prep course scenario. So we have the SATs before the course, and we have the same kids taking the SAT after the prep course. Now, one would assume that the prep course is meant to improve test scores, and since we're looking to improve, that would make it a one-tailed t-test. So I'm just going to type in the number 1. If the researchers were looking for any difference whatsoever between the pre and the post-test, then I could have chosen a two-tailed t-test instead. Okay, and now I'm going to click on a comma again, and I need to choose between a one-tailed t-test. We need to choose on the type of t-test. You are either going to be typing in a number 1 or a number 3. A number 1 will be what you will use for any dependent t-test, meaning pre-post. If you are working with an independent t-test, meaning a control and experimental group, then you will be using a type 3. So since we have a pre-test, post-test, I will choose type 1 and then close parentheses. Just a note about type 1 versus type 3, whether you're working in Google Sheets or in Microsoft Excel, you will still be using the 1 or the 3. 1 will always be for dependent t-tests. Number 3 will always be for independent t-tests. So once I have my close parentheses entered, I'm going to hit the return key. And I have my correlation right here, a 0.059. And that is what I would then compare to p is less than 0.01 or p is less than 0.05. Unlike the correlations, I do not need to consult any charts. What the spreadsheet spits out is the actual p-value. So in this case, p equals 0.0599, or if we're going to round, p equals 0.06. I would compare that p equals equal to 0.06 to either p is less than 0.01 if we were in a medical situation, or p is less than 0.05, which would be for an educational situation, which is what we're in. So since p is 0.06 is not less than 0.05, I would say there is not a significant difference, meaning that the SAT prep course had no impact on test scores.